Good evening.
Good evening.
We run a tight ship around here. Always on time.
Okay, ready?
So welcome
everybody to the
Oakdale
City Council regular meeting
of April
of April 13, 2021.
Sue, would
Sue, would you do a roll call, please? Here.
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 Please join me now.
Please join me now in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So one of
So one of the things I wanted to start out with before we get into the guts of the meeting minutes
or
our meeting agenda is just to welcome anybody that's joining us by Zoom.
For anybody
that's listening or watching and
does want
to join us in a different manner,
the
the website is on our city website,
and
the website to join us by Zoom is on our city website. Please do so if you care to.
We have
some minutes coming up they're going to approve, and then we're going to go to an open forum.
And
Alyssa is our moderator for the Zoom meeting.
If you
want to make a comment at the open forum, wave your hand or make notice to Alyssa, and she'll inform us.
So then,
first up on the guts of the meeting is the approval of minutes. We have three of them in front of us.
the workshop
on March 9, workshop on March 23,
and the
regular meeting for March 23.
For the
March 9 workshop,
upon
upon review, did any counselor want to make adjustments or modifications?
Could I have a
Could I
motion?
have a motion then, please?
So moved. Is a motion?
Is there a second? Second.
Is a motion?
Is a motion and a second? Is there any discussion?
All in favor?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed?
Those
Those minutes are approved as presented.
Second
Second set would be the workshop minutes from March 23,
2021.
2021.
Upon
Upon review, any
questions,
questions, adjustments?
Can I have a
Can I have a motion then, please?
So moved.
Can I have a
Can I have a
second?
second?
Second.
Is a motion?
Is a motion and a second? Is there any discussion?
All in favor?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
And the
And the workshop meeting minutes are approved as presented.
Finally,
we have the meeting minutes from the regular meeting on March 23.
Upon
Upon review, were there any questions or adjustments?
Can I have a
Can I have a motion then, please?
So moved.
Is a
Is
motion?
a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Is a motion?
Is a motion and a second? Is there any discussion?
All in favor?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Then those
And those meeting minutes are approved as presented. Thank you.
Next up on
the docket is the open forum.
And I think
What I'll do is I'll open up to anybody that might be participating by Zoom first.
And if
And
you
you are,
please let
Alyssa
Alyssa
McLeod know,
And
and
we'd like to hear
I'd like
from
to
you.
hear from you.
While
While you're thinking about that, I'm going to go ahead and go into the next piece of open forum,
which is
which is a proclamation. Then I'll come back to see if there's anybody that wants to comment.
So the
So the proclamation
is
addressing and congratulating the Public Works Department.
So as
It says,
whereas
public works services provided in our community are an integral part of our citizens' everyday lives.
and
And whereas the support of an understanding and informed citizenry is vital to the efficient operation of public works systems and programs,
such as
such as water, sewer, streets, parks, forestry, environmental services, public buildings, and fleet services.
And
And whereas the health, safety, and comfort of this community greatly depend on the services.
And
And whereas
the quality
and effectiveness of these facilities,
as well
as their planning, design, and construction,
are
are vitally dependent upon the efforts and skill of public works staff.
And
And whereas the efficiency of the qualified and dedicated personnel
who staff
who staff public works departments
is
is
materially influenced by the people's attitudes
and understanding of the importance of the work they perform.
And
And whereas
the third
the 3rd week of May is nationally recognized as an appropriate opportunity to take time and thank those who serve in our local public works departments. Therefore, I, Paul Ranking, Mayor of Oakdale, Minnesota,
hereby
proclaim
the week of
May 16 to 22
as
as Public Works Week.
and acknowledge the important contributions that the Public Works Department makes every day to our health, safety, comfort, and quality of life in the city of Oakdale. So in witness thereof, I hereby set my hand and cause the seal of the city of Oakdale to be fixed on this 13th day of April, 2021. So congratulations. And Brian Bachmeyer is here, City Engineer, Public Works Director. On behalf of the council, be sure to extend just the personal thanks and appreciation to all your members.
Thank you. It's our greatest honor to serve you. Thank you.
Coming back to the open forum time, Alyssa, did anybody request a chance to speak?
Mayor, no one's requested to comment.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on then to the next item on the agenda, which are the consensus motions A through E. Councilors, did you want to pull any of those motions? Could I have a motion then, please?
I'll make a motion to approve consensus motions A through E as presented.
There's a all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And those motions are approved as presented. Thank you. Next on the agenda is advisory boards and commissions. And in front of us, we have recommendations about appointments to the Economic Development Commission. Could I have a motion, please?
Anybody have a preference on which ones?
So they're all the
I
same.
think we,
Oh,
all three of them, all three of
Hey,
them.
I thought one was shorter.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, one is longer.
One is
Yeah.
longer.
The end one.
Okay.
All right, I'll just go.
Yeah, just go for it.
I'll make a motion to appoint Gary Severson to the Economic Development Commission, term to begin April 14th, 2021, term to end June 30th, 2022.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Your Honor, roll.
I'll make a motion to appoint Lynn Stafford to the Economic Development Commission, term to begin April 14th, 2021, term to end June 30th, 2022.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes. Thank you.
I'll make a motion to appoint Aaron Vaca to the Economic Development Commission, term to begin April 14th, 2021, term to end June 30th, 2023.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and second. Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Then that motion passes. Thank you. And congratulations to Gary Severson, Lynn Stafford, and Aaron Boca for the appointments to the Economic Development Commission and for your service, of course.
Mhm.
Next up on the agenda is time with the Public Works Director, City Engineer, Mr. Bachmeyer.
Honorable members of the council, I have the written reports this evening, but I stand for any questions the council may have.
Thank you, Brian. Councilors, thank you, Brian.
Did you have to bring the snowplows out today?
No, we didn't. We're getting a little nervous there for a while, but yeah.
Okay,
So
thank
we have a
you.
bid award in a little bit, so I'll come back.
Very good. Thank you. Next up is Community Development Director, Mr. Streeter. Or is Emily? Okay. So this is a request, tax increment financing request by Presbyterian Homes Senior Housing. Hi, Mr. Streeter.
Mayor, members of the council, this evening, I'll be presenting a request for tax increment financing for senior affordable housing at Elmo Station. Joining us this evening are Michaela Hewitt. Michaela Hewitt's with Baker Tilly. She's the financial advisor who runs the independent analysis. Also, John Fletcher and Libby Stanton with Presbyterian Homes, who have joined us in the past 2 work sessions. So with that, I'd like just to begin and summarize the request. Presbyterian Homes would like to construct a 107-unit building on the R5 parcel at Elmo Station for seniors, 55 and older, and 24 of those units, they're requesting tax increment financing to make them affordable. So they would be at lower rents compared to the market rate rents. In the memo, I highlight the income that would be served in 2020 dollars, $36,000 to $41,000 a year, and the rents would range between $963 and $1,400. The request, again, is to provide financial assistance to make 24 units affordable for 18 years. The principal amount would be $3 million. The interest would be a little over 1.6 million for a total of $4.6 million over 18 years. So what that would mean is the developer would seek their own financing. And then as the building got built and generated tax increment, they would be repaid over 18 years at an interest rate of about 3.8% a year for 18 years. At the end of 18 years, the tax increment district would decertify or it would end. And the increment that was going to repay the developer to provide affordable units would now be distributed in proportionally to the school, the city, and the county, and then the special taxing districts. Also at that time, the affordability, the developer would no longer be obligated to provide those affordable units or to provide those units at affordable rents. They could choose to if they wanted to, but they're not obligated to. Just a couple of other things I'd like to point out in the city's comprehensive plan, and that's what staff works with, is there's a goal to provide all folks, all families, all incomes, a reasonable, realizable choices for affordable housing and safe neighborhoods. We do have right now 2,200 households that could be considered housing cost burdened, which means they pay more than 30% of their annual income for rent, which means when you have to do that, they have to make trade-offs with other living expenses, food, medicine, transportation, makes it difficult. The other thing I just want to point out, I think is important, is that we do have affordable housing in the city now. Specifically, Presbyterian Homes did a very similar project called Echo Ridge about 18, 19 years ago. It was a 100-unit building, 20 of the units were affordable. That TIF district will decertify, I believe, in 2022, along with one other TIF district for affordable housing. And then those units, the landowner or the property owner will no longer, they can choose not to make them affordable, which means, and it happens often, those people would be evicted or their leases would not be renewed. And they would be filled with people who are paying market rents. So expiring affordability is really becoming an issue not only for Oakdale, but for cities across the metropolitan area. So this affordable housing, this TIF district, this affordable housing at Helmo Station could go a long way to addressing that issue. The last thing I would like to say is the council did have 2 work sessions and discussed this. And I think generally the sense was that at this time, the council was not going to be supportive of tax increment for affordable housing, senior affordable housing at this location, but would rather like to lead with a market rate project. I can tell you this morning, I did receive a phone call from a developer for the R5 or the R6 and R7 parcel, which is south of here. They have an agreement with the landowner to do a very significant market rate project that you're going to be seeing here in the next couple of months, similar to what we did with Presbyterian Homes when we met with the council and we went through all of the details and to establish substantial conformity. So with that, I'm happy to answer questions. Michaela Hewitt from Baker Tilly is here to answer questions, as well as John Fletcher and Libby Stanton. Mayor, back to you.
Thank you, Bob. Good evening, Ms. Hewitt and Mr. Fletcher and Ms. Stanton. So, councilors, anything for Bob?
Question?
Yep.
The monthly rents listed in the RCA, are those the rents that would be paid on the affordable housing units or the market rate units?
Councilmember Zabel, those are the affordable rents.
So you mentioned that the standard for affordability is 30% or cost burden for housing. Even at the alcove rate, that's still in excess of 30%. So it's not even these rents aren't affordable or under the standard of 30%, right? So at $36,000 a year, 963 times 12, that comes out to 32% of their income will be spent on housing. Yep. For 2 bedrooms, it's 50%. So we're not even achieving affordability
Yeah, okay, so let me just say that the rents for senior housing, yes, the standard is 30%, number one. Number two, typically seniors in these buildings can afford to pay more than 30%, okay? We can work with the developer to bring those down to an exact 30%. It will just require more tax increment financing to make that possible.
So even with this request for TIF, we're not getting affordable housing because we're still in excess of that 30% threshold. That is the definition of affordable housing.
Yes, well, I think if you look at, let me just pull it out here.
So at
There's also affordable housing at 60% of the area median value of 80%.
Right.
We're choosing this one, or discussion point for Presbyterian homes is at the 50%.
yeah, but that's what would.
Bob, if I could.
Level.
Yeah, go ahead, John.
Excuse me, yeah, and thank you, Mayor and council members. Just if I could jump in and answer that question. For this TIF application, the property is pursuing 20% of units, or a minimum of 20% of units that are affordable at 50% of AMI. The area median income is defined by either the state through the Minnesota Housing Finance Authority or through just local median income. So the property does, the underwriting does and will meet all standards related to affordability. So just to flat answer the question, the units are affordable per definition, which is 50% of AMI. There isn't a different standard for senior living versus all age living. It is differentiated by the number of bedrooms, whether it's studio, 1 bedroom, or 2 bedroom. There is a higher income threshold for a 2-bedroom household.
Correct.
Keep on going, I interrupted you.
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Susie or Jake or Glenn? So over the last couple of times, like you had indicated, last 2 workshops, we've had a chance to talk about this. And one of the things that came up after one of the workshops was this notion about, we were talking about Oakdale seniors. And is that a possibility to have an Oakdale preference?
Mm-hmm.
And I think at that time, responded or got back to me saying, yes, that is
Mm-hmm.
a preference that we could ask the developer to abide by, to make sure that the first opportunity is for our people and our residents. So that's really important. Is the developer still willing to do that?
He is, and the city can require it because you're providing financial assistance. You can require that. And typically how that's done is there's some pre-marketing that's done 60 or 90 days ahead of the normal marketing. Oakdale seniors would be solicited through some kind of marketing effort, and they would be put on the waiting list or on the list. It's given first priority.
So my other thought is, I think really, Jake, you were right on track. That's the workshop saying that black and white, technically, you wouldn't have to offer any type of incentive at this location because of the desirability of it. And where I think I still remain, and I thought even harder about it, is that while true, our ability to do so, to offer a subsidy, a very, very insignificant impact to us, it's very doable. And at this location, with the bus line coming, and we heard that was great news coming from Commissioner Karwowski, the federal government has allowed that project to go into the engineering phase, makes it one more step closer, and have that transportation mode for a group of people. It could have been my mom and dad, or anybody's mom and dad is what we're talking about. That'd be awesome. So I remain in support of this project. Sure.
Not necessarily in response to you, but just more general comment. I will be voting against providing tax increment financing for this project, but I do want to make it clear that I am not opposed to affordable housing. If the Presbyterian would like to go forward with the project and include affordable housing, I will be in full support of that. Where we disagree, obviously, is on the elements of tax increment financing, and not the affordable housing aspect of it. So I just wanted to make that statement be clear.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, can I have a motion then, please?
I'll make a motion to approve the Presbyterian Homes request for tax increment financing
Would you be willing to add the Oakdale preference?
with the Oakdale preference included.
I'll second that. So I'm going to ask for a roll call vote. Ms. Olson,
Yes.
Ms. Swedberg, Councilmember Swedberg.
No.
Council.
Just to add to Jake, I'm not against affordable housing. I'm not against TIF actually, because I've made my point about the Greenway project, and that's a TIF.
Councilmember Richardson.
No. Oh,
Sorry, I spoke over you.
I just wanted to say because of the location. So the Greenway location is more value for that TIF. So
Councilmember Richardson.
no.
And Councilmember Zabel.
No.
The motion fails. And thank you, Bob. Before you leave, Mr. Streeter, was there any other community development update?
No.
You kind of gave it with the apartment developer
Yeah.
contemplating some good
Yeah.
stuff. Next up on the list is time of city attorney, Mr. Thompson.
May members of the council, nothing specific to report, but happy to.
Thank you. Councilors. Okay, thank you, Jim. Administrator report, Ms. Volkers.
Mr. Mayor, City Council, I'm happy to answer any questions. I don't have anything further though for the agenda.
Councilors, anything for Chris? Thank you. And then council presentations. Councilmember Swedberg.
I've been contacted to recruit some 50 plus people to be on a virtual panel to help define for Washington County the needs and priority lists for transportation as it relates to transportation. So if you would like to be considered for this virtual panel discussion, you can send me an email at my city council address, colleen.swedberg@ci.oakdale.mm.us. It's on our city website. So that's it.
Very good. Thank you. Councilmember Olson. Councilmember Zabel.
Nothing for me.
And I have nothing tonight either. So we're going to move on to the award of bids then with Mr. Bachmeyer again. Thank you.
Honorable Mayor, members of the council, last Thursday, we did open bids for the temporary treatment facility at Well 7, which is located at 12th and Hummel. We did have 3 contractors that submitted bids for the work. The low bidder was Waive Construction. And this includes the bid alternate. I'll just clarify that. The base bid is constructing the building. The bid alternate is in the event the walls and the roof cannot go on, that the contractor provide temporary fencing around the site so that the filters can be operational by July 15th. So that was the bid alternate. Obviously, if the contractor is able to get the walls up and the roof up before July 15th, we will not be compensating them for that bid alternate. But we are suggesting that be exercised so that we have greater assurance that the treatment facility will be operational by July 15th. Making Construction did provide a low bid of $2,193,315. They have done work for us in the past, lift station projects. Obviously not treatment facilities, but they have done other treatment facilities, most recently in Cottage Grove and also in St. Paul Park. So it is our recommendation that the contract be awarded to Making Construction. Stand for any questions that council may have.
Thank you, Brian. Councilors, anything for Mr. Bachmeyer? Councilmember Zabel.
Brian, of all of the bids, do you happen to know what the rough breakdown between the actual cost of the building is versus the actual treatment equipment within the building? I've always been curious, what do those treatment, whatever you want to call them, cost?
So this bid is actually for the building. The treatment filters themselves are being supplied independent of this construction contract. And as best I can determine, they're approximately $500,000 for the filters. So that would be in addition to this amount. So I know if you're looking at this project award versus the $6 million grant amount, it does not include the filters, which are being supplied directly by 3M, because they ultimately are paying this grant through the process. So they are supplying the filters so that we can get them in a very quick time frame. So that's in addition to this cost.
And, okay, keep going. And did we factor in the cost of those filters, even though I know we're not paying for them, into the $6 million grant? Is that why there was such a discrepancy between
Yes.
the bid and it? Okay,
Yes.
got it.
And also, we need to include the design and construction management costs, which are in addition to the construction cost. So we're confident that everything will be able to get construction well below the grant amount that's been provided.
More. Does the residual funds in the grant allow for operational costs after construction? So currently with our agreement with 3M, they pay to turn on the lights, all of the cost of operating the treatment facility. Does this grant cover similar expenses for this facility?
The program does, not this particular grant, but we do get reimbursed for all operational costs associated with the treatment facility.
Okay, thank you.
I think that we've got 10 vessels at the original filtration plant. And this one is about half that,
There will be full programs.
so roughly half the size of the building. That's good.
Right.
Very good. Cool. So we had the presentation, I had some questions. May I have a motion in place?
I'll make a motion to waive reading, adopt resolution number 2021, awarding city project 2021-04 temporary granular activated carbon treatment plant at Well 7, contract to Magni Construction in the amount of 2.193 million, well, okay, I'll say it, $2,193,315. I'm not gonna go point, dot, dot, dot.
Yeah.
So there's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any conversation? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the motion passes as presented. Thank you. Finally, the last item on our agenda tonight is the summary of claim rosters. So in front of us, we have the claim rosters between March 20th, 21 through April 9th, 2021, totaling $1,618,048.44. On review, were there any concerns or things that you'd like to pull? Could I have a motion then, please?
Make a motion to approve claims as presented.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the claims are approved as presented. Thank you. Could I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Could I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Then this meeting is adjourned. Thank you and good night.